Hello, friends, and welcome in. What is that? The queen wave? The princess wave? Is this
That's
supposed to
how
be like you're unscrewing a light bulb?
that's how his Freakness
Weird.
waves during Preakness week.
Oh, okay. That's what we're doing. That's what we're calling you.
Yeah, this is the week of the year that I allow myself to be my true self, which is a character
Oh,
named his Freakness, who always smashes the
okay.
Preakness.
How does that differ from your normal MO? Just out of curiosity.
This one has 2 words in the name.
Okay.
That's the
Okay.
best I
So
got.
that's
There's really, yeah, it's not a lot of difference if we're holding up a
it's
mirror
really
to
just
it.
you
Sure,
being your authentic self. Yeah. Okay.
living my best
No, it's
life.
good to know. I'm glad you brought that up. So I'm Megan Devine. You are what was that again? I was gonna say Chase Sessoms, but what was it? His
His Freakness.
Okay, well, there you go. I'm just gonna let you introduce yourself.
Sure.
It
His
is
Freakness has no
Preakness
problem with
week.
that or referring to himself in the third person. So please.
Clearly, clearly, you're perfectly comfortable doing that. Yeah, it is Preakness week, the second jewel of the Triple Crown. So, of course, we've got Derby, Preakness, and then Belmont coming up next month in June, I believe. And yeah, it's always an exciting one. You know, it's very different. Each race has its own personality. You know, you've
Yeah.
got the Kentucky Derby, and you've got the beautiful hats and people and Millionaires Row and all the stuff that's happening there. The
Yeah.
Belmont, tradition, history, New York.
Sinatra.
Yeah, well, Belmont's really broken down, but it's fine.
Sure,
but
sure.
but you know, history.
Yeah.
Um, and then you have the Preakness in the middle. And it's just this really, I don't even know how to describe it, party that
Mhm.
is just it is the middle child of
Yeah.
the Triple Crown.
It's the people's triple crown leg. And
The
I mean,
people's party. Yeah.
yeah, I think I know why it's so awesome. It's because its spirit animal might be the offspring of Daltar,
What?
Cagasus.
I guess so.
The hero we need. Are you under? I'm not sure if they even let Cagasus, if they're even associated with Cagasus anymore, because Cagasus proved to be too awesome.
Look at that. I
Soon
am
after
not
the
convinced
rollout
that
of
that's not you.
Cagasus,
That is definitely you.
it kind of fits my MO. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's very me. I will say that I'm not really off brand with that, so I can't complain with it. Uh, but I think once it started really getting wild and they banned coolers, they also
Uh-huh.
said, Cagasus, you're forbidden from the grounds too. So,
Can't do it. What
God,
was his strategy? Like, why did he was he dispensing from
he
himself?
no, he was just the deity of the party, per
Oh,
Cagasus,
okay.
per his
I see.
origin story that I'm given by the
His
Baltimore
origin
Sun. Yeah.
story. Got it. Got it. Yeah, that's incredible. And it's yeah, I'm not convinced that's not you. So, you can't tell me otherwise. Yeah, so I mean, that's just a little taste of what goes on at the Preakness Stakes. I mean, can we show them more? It's almost one of those things where you wonder, is it okay to let people know? Is it safe for
Oh
work?
yeah.
Oh yes, here we go.
Here we go. Yes.
The historic, the famed porta potty run. So what you got to
Yeah.
do is you got to run across the porta potties and not fall down while people throw full beer cans at you. And
That
if
is
you
the
make
most
it to the
dramatic
other
war
side,
scene since Saving
oh, he
Private
goes
Ryan.
down.
Yeah.
Goes down. If you make it across, it's I mean you're infamous, right? In that. I don't
That's my
know what's
cousin.
happening
I don't know
here.
how this clip got in there. That's my cousin. That's Steve. But no, this is I mean, come on. If it's not the if it's not the leg of the Triple Crown of the people, would you have cut off overalls to dance in? I mean, come on.
I don't
And
know where else
shotgun
they would fit.
beers?
That's the only place you possibly can. You know, I believe they actually put a tent over the porta potties now, so there's no headroom, literally, uh,
Yeah.
over that. So you can no longer make the run. They tried to just outlaw it for a while, and they left
Yeah.
them open up top. So obviously people aren't going to listen to that.
Right.
And now they're like, no, like physically you cannot do this. So we'll
And
see what they
probably
come up
have
with.
saved countless lives in the
Oh yeah,
process.
Absolutely. So that's, I mean, good or bad, depending on what what side of civilization really that you live on. So yeah, I mean, it is a wild party. But in addition to the parties, to the shenanigans, I don't know. I mean, they've had some pretty unbelievable music acts, and they've got like giant stages. My brother went to Preakness once, not into horses at all. I'm the only one in my family that's into horses. I was there working the Preakness for Belmont or for NBC rather, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden my brother texts me. He's like, "Hey, I'm here," and he lives in New York, and I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, I came for the music festival."
Right.
It's like
And not only
there's a
that,
horse race today.
it seems
It's
like
yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah, no, no,
taken
no, no.
like a hard turn to like EDM too. Like it's not just
Yeah,
like hip hop. It's like it's a crazy amount of EDM, and I think it's so much
yeah.
EDM now that I kind of wonder if I show you some artists that have played, can you even name one song? Because I feel like the EDM scene not necessarily your jam.
No, and neither is the hip hop and R&B. So, I mean,
Okay.
I don't know if I can even name one song. I may not even be able to name who the artist is.
Okay. Well,
So,
I'm going to show you
this
three
might go
pictures
real
here.
fast.
The first one, I just consider me being generous here because you'll figure out the name of the
Okay.
artist.
Okay. Okay, well, that's Diplo,
Yep.
and
Can you
he is
name me one
DJ.
Diplo song? Yeah. DJ. He doesn't necessarily, it's hard. This is a tough one because he does a lot of producing. He doesn't necessarily
Right.
but I think he
Yeah.
has songs credited to him. In fact, I've Googled and he definitely does.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I can't off the top of my head. I feel
I,
like I've definitely seen him. That was the easy one, and that's what I'm scared about. You know, that song about the people doing stuff.
yeah. Yeah. Till the break of
That's
dawn,
the one,
probably.
that's the one.
There.
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That's the
Okay.
one.
So this next one's a little more hip hop than EDM. Can you name this young
Okay.
fella? And might you know a song that he does?
First of all, that is the younger brother of Chad Brown, the horse trainer. Uh,
That is amazing. That is the best thing I have heard. That was well played. I just got to credit where it's due there. Well played. But
I
we'll bring
mean,
him back up.
that's
There's
all I got. No, no,
Travis
no.
Brown.
That is my I don't even know who that is. That is my final answer. All I'm doing now is just unveiling how uncool I am to the general public. Like, it's fine.
So,
It's totally
so that's rapper Logic. That's a
fine.
newer rapper Logic.
That was his name?
Yeah, Logic. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Just it. So,
Got it.
end of sentence now. Okay, his name is
Uh-huh.
Logic.
Logic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
It's
Mhm.
even spelled Logic too. There's no CK. There's nothing.
So
It's good.
anyways,
All right, moving
okay.
on. First of all,
Um,
congratulations to this guy for the best pause face possible.
that's that's that guy with the chain on his
Yeah. Can you
I don't
tell me?
know.
Give me a guess. What letter does the name start with? It's in the first
Okay,
10.
put it back up. Put it back up.
Okay. What letter does his name
Is
start
it
with?
Chance the Rapper?
That is for you a great guess. However,
That I came up with.
that is wow. Do you know?
Yeah. I was not gonna get it. No, 0% chance.
By the way, I have a
A
body on your
twofer.
edge right now. Yeah.
Oh, look at
Since
your
we're
product placement. Okay.
what didn't we did two shows basically with the Oaks and then the Derby. Now we're gonna stuff
Yeah.
the Black Eyed Susan and the Derby into it. So we got the
It
Black Eyed
seems right.
Susan, yeah, on Friday, going a
Yep.
mile and an
Friday.
eighth. The grade 2. I would have thought this was grade 1. What was I thinking? Oh well.
Mhm.
What do you like for the Black Eyed Susan?
Yeah, so the favorite in here is gonna be the 10 horse, likely Adair Manor, who was previously trained by Bob Baffert, then switched over to Tim Yakteen, who got a bunch of horses, then switched over to Sean McCarthy, who also had some of his horses. So I don't know what when that change happened, but anyway, she's finished in the top 4 her entire career. She's been in against some pretty good horses. It seems like she's done well. She's working really good. But I'm going to go against the favorite there. I'm going to go with a 6-1 price, a little juicy there, and that is Interstate Daydream, trained by Brad Cox, Florent Giroux, who's ridden her a couple of times. Last time she was in Ashland and she ran up against a little horse named Nest, who was my favorite to win the Kentucky Oaks, and I still think is a super talented horse. She actually ran second in the Kentucky Oaks. And I just don't think that was her race that day. I do not. So I like her third time going around a ground. First time she stretched out, so going over a mile, she won, and then she was in that really tough graded stakes spot. Still finished third, granted, well back, but nobody was going to beat Ness that day. So I actually think she's got a really good chance here to kind of step up and improve. And Brad Cox, does what he does, and he wins these kind of races at like 25% of the time, which is that's a big number in horse racing.
That's a good chunk right there.
Yeah, for sure.
I went somewhere different. Go figure.
Okay. Where'd you go?
I actually landed on the number 5, Begin.
Okay.
12-1 for Danny Pites. This horse just keeps trending up every single start. It's improving, adding distance. Last out was in the fantasy, ran against Yaguri, who actually went out and set the pace in the Kentucky Oaks last week, a couple of weekends ago. And this is one of the weekends I look at thoroughgraphs, and if you look at the thoroughgraphs, the horse is very competitive with their figures, and based on the pattern, looks like it could actually improve and put out another top performance.
I'm pretty sure you like this horse because she has only raced at Oaklawn. That's why. 100%.
I might have picked 6 to 7 horses like that this weekend.
I mean,
I was very cold on Oaklawn shippers last weekend, but
So Friday's your day or Saturday.
Yeah, Arkansas horses, his Preakness, everything just kind of weaves perfectly into it.
Your weekend. Exactly. Yeah. It's very on brand for that. Okay. Well, there you go. So Begin's for you. So 12-1. That's a pretty good price there. What about Saturday? What's going on Saturday? Anything special? You doing anything?
There are these 3 jewels, and there's one in the middle, and it gets buck wild in its infield. That's right. We've got the Preakness Stakes, the People's Derby, as I'm going to call it. A mile and 3/16, grade 1, $1.5 million purse for, we all know, 3-year-olds. This looks, there were some notable, notable scratches away, or just people who decided not to enter. So I think it turned out to be a pretty interesting race. What do you got?
Well, first of all, when you were saying the jewels and all of that, I genuinely thought you were going to bring in Pegasus somehow, and it was like the origin story where Pegasus protects the jewels, and you have to get past him, kind of like you got to level up, beat the boss kind of thing. Yeah. So I'm fully expecting you to develop that story. That's a side thing. Yeah. But you're right. Rich Strike, the winner of the Kentucky Derby, is not in the Preakness. They decided not to go. So the 80-1 shot will not be able to defend his title in the Kentucky Derby and try to go for the Triple Crown. However, the horse that I believe should have won the Derby, which is Epicenter, is here, and he's going to win, and it's just as simple as that. He's the 8 horse. I think he ran the best race out of anybody. I mean, those fractions in the Kentucky Derby were crazy, and he still held on and finished second by less than a length. I think he's a super talented horse. I've said all along, if there was anybody to try to go for the Triple Crown this year, it was going to be Epicenter. Obviously, he didn't win the Derby, so he can't do that. But I think he's going to show up in these other 2 races, the Preakness and the Belmont, and do extremely well. So I'm on Epicenter. He's done pretty much nothing wrong in his career, so I can't go against. I'm not going with Secret Oath, who is the filly. She won the Kentucky Oaks. She's also in this field, and we have seen girls beat the boys in the Preakness. It's a little bit of a shorter distance than the Derby, and obviously the Belmont as well, so it sometimes can even that playing field a little bit. A few years ago it happened with a horse named Swiss Skydiver, who was in against Authentic. So it can happen, and I think she's probably going to finish second, but I'm going to go with Epicenter. How about you?
I opted not to be a chalk eating weasel, so I went with the second choice. Early voting. So
you spend this whole season being a chalk eating weasel, and then you're like, you know what? It's the Preakness. Anything goes. We're just gonna go for a race.
This is like my own mental sandals vacation resort right here. Preakness week. Okay. This is when I'm in the skimpy bathing suit. All right, I'm going early voting. The reason is I look at the pace here, and I took a look at the like the Timeform US pace projector for this. They nailed the Kentucky Derby. They had it as a fast pace, but it's because I don't think their program lets them say nuclear disaster meltdown for how fast it went. But in terms of where they had everyone positioned, they had it nailed. And based on the projector for the Preakness, early voting might just be loose on the lead. And I guess Chad Brown said the deal with the Wood Memorial is sometimes whenever he's so far out ahead that he kind of maybe gets a little bored, a little drifty, which I really would like if they added blinkers. I think that Epicenter is the most logical push button horse. Definitely has the skill. Literally just bad break, didn't win the Kentucky Derby. But if I'm betting, putting money on a horse to win, it's going to be early voting because I think the price will be there.
Okay. There you go. The New York bred. I gotta like that. I think you might see some additional pace from Armagnac, from Tim Yaktine, the 7 horse in there, but we shall see. We'll see what happens. And like we said, it is the Preakness. Anything can happen. It's wild. If you don't get a chance to go, that you should definitely put it on your bucket list. But I believe America's Best Racing will be there all weekend long, having all kinds of events and shows. And so be sure to tune into their channels because you just get a little taste of what's going on, and it's a fun time.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely, of all the Triple Crown races, it's the one I want to go to the most.
Yes, there you go. All right. Well, that is it for this week. Devine and the dog, Meg Devine, joined by Chase Sessoms, also known as his Preakness. We will be back next week to cover the recap of the race and talk about some of the big races coming up later on this month and next month. But that's it. Bye.
It's America's original sport, and no one covers it better than America'sBestRacing.net. From the sport to the lifestyle, the best races, horses, and destination venues, cocktails, gambling, fashion, and more. America'sBestRacing.net is a sport for you. Live it, love it, bet it.